Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Ziggs basic guide. So Ziggs is one of those mages in the mid lane that is very consistent, very long range, and does insane damage when you get to like 2-3 items in the game. Is very safe just because of how big of a range he has, and he is also a champion that can be played in the bot lane as an AP carry. Honestly, most mages can. But Ziggs is one of those that traditionally has been played in the bot lane quite a bit. So as you guys can see, without further ado, we're gonna jump straight into the practice tool without any time wasted to go over his skills. So first up, we're going to actually talk about his passive. And before we do that, of course, we're going to do the usual thing of disabling the bots and leveling ourselves up. Okay, so spawning an enemy dummy. So his passive has actually changed quite a bit. So basically, last time what it used to be is it used to be an enhanced auto attack. We can see now an auto attack no longer actually procs the skill, and instead what you actually do now is we actually have to make our way over to the tower to show this, which is basically his abilities will now deal turret damage. So here you can see if I toss my E is going to damage the tower like that, and also your Q is going to do a little bit of bonus damage to enemies and towers when it's up. So here, since we're already here, let's spawn another enemy dummy here. So you can see this enemy dummy, if I use my Q on this guy, he takes or if we don't count the area, he takes about 120 or so damage. So here on the next hit, he takes less because my passive is not up, and Airy procced again. So yeah, the difference is about 20 damage or so, so that is because of the passive. And also it works on towers, so when your passive is up, you will also do more damage to towers, and when you cast your other abilities, you will be able to charge up your passive faster, including your Q. It takes about 3 abilities to charge up your passive to the maximum before it's up again. Yeah, so roughly around there. So since we're here, we're just going to continue with the rest of the skills over here. So first up, as you guys probably already saw, it's your Q. So your Q is basically a bouncing bomb. So basically, if you take a look over here, it's gonna I hit the wall there, but it's gonna basically just bounce, and the range is kind of insane, right? As you guys can see here. So if it hits an enemy, it's gonna stop bouncing, and this ability does do AOE damage. So if we spawn more enemy dummies, and if they're all kind of clumped up, it will actually damage all of them at the same time, as you guys can see there. Now, as I mentioned, I didn't actually mention, but I showed it by accident. Q gets destroyed by a wall. So if you Q into a wall, it's just going to instantly explode. So for example, if you're trying to Q over this wall, and you misaim it by going a little bit too near, it's going to get destroyed by the wall instead of bouncing over like this. So that's just something to take note of. As you guys can see, your Q doesn't actually give any vision. So you can see I hit something there just because my Airy flew over, but it doesn't actually give you any vision, whatsoever. So now we're going to talk about his W. So his W, as you guys can see here, it's basically this bomb that you put on the floor. It will detonate by itself after a couple of seconds. But I think it's 4 seconds, so it's going to stay there for 4 seconds. And basically what it does is it's going to displace everybody who is inside. So for example, if I am inside, you can see the indicator is going to bounce me over to the left, like so. It only works on yourself and enemies. It doesn't work on allies. So for example, if I use it on this group, I'm going to try to hit only this first guy. Okay, I hit the second guy as well, but you can see it bounces them all away from the center. So if I put this in the center of these two, they should go in opposite directions, like so. So you can reactivate it before the 4 seconds is up. So for example, I can toss it here and I can detonate it to push the dead enemy away immediately. And also another thing that it can do is it can also destroy towers. So here you guys can see this indicator bar right at the tower. Now I have no items, so I'm gonna take 1 eternity to take from this tower, but you can see this indicator bar right at the bottom of the tower, near where the shield is, and that's basically the threshold. So when you reach that threshold, you are going to be able to destroy the tower with the satchel charge. Now maybe I can actually demonstrate this if I remove the dummies. where is the button? So I'm going to remove the dummies and I'm going to back. I'm going to give myself full build. And I'm going to get myself a TP to get back there faster. Like so. So here, let's try to demo it. So here, we're gonna go ahead and start working on this tower. Like that. So you can see it's gonna hit this threshold, and when I use this bomb on here and it's below the threshold, you can see this indicator up there, so it's gonna just destroy the tower instantly, you know, something like that. So next time we're going to move on to his E. So his E is basically this small area where you're going to basically just launch a set of minefields. Whoever walks over like this poor skull crab is going to get damaged by it. Let's just demonstrate again. Skull crab is actually really useful because it's actually going to walk through it. So every time it hits a bomb, it's going to actually deal damage. So that's what it basically does. And it also slows, gives a slight slow. So the last one is your ulti, which has insane range. You can see that from the dragon pit, I can ult all the way to like the tier 1 tower of mid lane, and this is of course at 3rd rank. But just for a little bit of context to ulti the dragon pit, for example, to try to steal a dragon, I only have to be here, and by here I mean over here. So I can ulti the dragon pit all the way from over here, and what it does is basically, you can see it just does insane amounts of damage in a huge area like this. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So that is going to be it for his skills. Now we're going to talk about the leveling order. So leveling order for Ziggs is pretty straightforward. Basically, you want to start off with your Q at level 1. At level, because you're going to use it for poke. At level 2 is kind of a little bit up to you, but normally you're going to take your E just for wave clear or to just poke your enemy. You take W on level 3, of course, and your max order is the same. So you max Q, of course you take your alt when available, and then you max your E next, and then you max your W last. So something like this. So with the leveling order out of the way, we're going to talk about some combos. But honestly, for Ziggs, I honestly really don't think that there is a combo, because in reality the way you play Ziggs is, for example, this is my enemy. I'm just going to keep on tossing bombs at him, and tossing more bombs at him until he's low. And if I get an opportunity where he's close by enough, I'm going to just toss the E as well. So basically your play pattern is just launching Qs and Es whenever you know, you can, and you really only use your W if you need to for example push the enemy away if they're getting too close to you, or on rare occasions you can use it to push them toward you. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later. But the basically only other thing you can do is to basically ult. So he doesn't really have any combos, but instead we're going to now talk about tips and tricks. So the first trick I have for you guys is using your Q to check bushes. So for example, if I want to check this bush and I'm launching my bomb here, you can see that firstly it's going to bounce past the bush and there's nobody there. Even if I use it in max range, it looks like this. It's just going to explode right there. But if there's an enemy dummy inside, you're going to be able to see it, because when the bomb actually, you know, it's going to, I actually have horizon focus here, so it actually reveals the enemy. So if I didn't have horizon focus, actually I think it has a cooldown. So let me just try it with this bush. Just using that guy first. So for example, like this, alright, horizon focus still reveals the enemy, but okay, you know what, let me just go back and sell the horizon focus, and then I can demonstrate this a little bit better. So TPing back for the demo, so you can see here, if I launch my bomb like this, you can see based on the explosion that there is an enemy here. Also, if it doesn't bounce anywhere past the bush, you know there is an enemy in there. So this is very useful to check bushes. You can also check bushes with your E, which gives you vision, but the issue is that your E range is a lot closer. So for example, if I need to get here to check the bush, the enemy can just flash on me or dash on me already, whereas with the Q, I can check the bush from way back over here, and I will know that he is in there because of the explosion. So for example, you see if there's no one there, the bomb just explodes like that. But if it actually hits someone, the explosion is different. So you will know that someone is there. So the next kind of like so-called tip or trick I have for you guys is your W usage. So there is of course multiple uses of your W. You can of course use it to bomb yourself away. If you like tap it quickly, it's gonna just automatically bomb immediately. So for example, if you want to do this and you tap it too quickly, you're gonna just bomb yourself away. So basically, a quick way to bomb yourself away is to just aim it anywhere. For example, if I want to go this way, I just aim it anywhere towards this direction and I double tap it real quick. It's gonna launch me in the opposite direction. So if I want to use it on an enemy, I have to actually wait. So for example, I'm trying to bomb this guy away, and if you can see, if I tap it too fast, it's going to just bomb myself. So I have to actually wait for the bomb to fly out, and then I can bomb him away. So of course, another usage of this, if someone is on top of you, for example, this guy just flashed on me, I can of course double tap and it's going to bomb both of us away. So it's going to bomb him away and it's going to bomb me away, which creates, you can see, this incredible distance. So recall that he was actually right next to me. So let me just put him back to a better position. I'm trying to just get rid of the Krugs here because it's getting a little bit annoying, but okay, so here we go. So remember, he was just next to me like this, and basically a double tap is going to put this kind of distance in between us. So this is where you can basically just run away, you know. And finally, your last usage of this is you can use this to bomb the opponent towards you. Now this is very niche and you rarely want to do this because it's dangerous, because you want them to be at range, but you can basically put the bomb behind them and you can bomb them towards you. Now the only real time you do this is if the enemy already gets CC'd by your teammate, and then you just want to use the bomb to get them closer to you and then use the rest of your spells, or for the rest of your team to kill them. And finally, the last tip and trick I have for you guys is using your ult to steal objectives. So your ult, when you're at like high ranks of your ult and and whatnot, it does quite a bit of damage. So you can see here, boom, it does like 800 damage, which is about the same damage as a smite. So if you can get close enough, and if for example you can do this, so if you can ulti and then Q, you can see that it instantly does about 1000 plus, more than 1000, 1.2k damage. So if you are close by enough, you can actually outsmite the enemy jungler and the enemy team, because combining your two abilities like this, you can see it's going to instantly just do, yeah, like about 1.2 to 1.3k damage, which no one can outsmite. So there is that. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this basic guide. Of course, stay tuned for a complete guide coming out tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.